Hello, I am Neil,
And I am Claire,
and we are from FMK Lit. Excuse me. And we
which is
are back, part two of our series with our bestie book buds from Books Inc. for National Romance Day. Woo.
yay!
This is part two, so watch part one. Spoilers. If you don't care about spoilers, keep watching. It's fine.
But today we are celebrating. We're celebrating bookstores. We're celebrating independent bookstores, and we're celebrating romance in independent bookstores because we love our independent bookstore partners, and we want to encourage people to go to those places and
With
to buy books from them, to order from their websites, those sorts of things.
and go and wear your mask. Everyone at the store does. Everyone is safe. So we're here with Ingrid, Catherine, Summer, and Alessandra from Books Inc. And so we talked in our last section, we talked about Romance Day, and we started talking about like what it is that we love about the romance genre. And something that we sort of touched on is, people kind of cringe at the bodice rippers. I mean, some of them are great. Don't get me wrong. Some of those covers, captured by Beverly Jenkins, that cover is amazing. So good.
I would get a poster of that. I would want to take a poster of that.
Sure. So let's take a little dive into like tropes of romance and ones that you like, maybe ones that you're like, and like how we feel it sort of influences readers and how maybe people might want to branch out a little bit. So let's start with Ingrid. We talked about you love a rake.
So I love that that strong silent guy. And maybe it's because I'm like so chatty, and so take charge that I need to have that, that buffer that's this is like slow down, girl. And I just it's so much fun. And I realized that whether it's set in the 1800s or in 2015 or 2020, that character is who I look for, I think, in all of my books.
Great.
So
Do you
anyway.
have other tropes that you're a fan of? Maybe that like get laced in there, like the
Well, the I hate you, no I don't. Yeah, I hate you, no I don't. I hate you. That one works for me quite well. And and yeah, and just the slow burn. For me, it's all about the slow burn. And major payoff at toward the end, but slow
and
burn.
sometimes some payback. That's fine too.
And sometimes, whoops, did I say that? Anyway,
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
babes.
Good. And Alessandra, tell us your favorite tropes, or maybe even a trope that you've always wanted to dip your toe in but have no idea where to start.
Well, I will not. I'm not sure which one that I have not read already. Not
Oh,
yet. Maybe
are
I
you
will
just a
hear it now.
master of the field?
Absolutely.
Of course, that was a silly question. I apologize.
No, to be honest, like I'm just thinking of my favorite right now, and it is the one of kind of where each one of like the characters needs something from each other, so they kind of have to go into a deal, and then like they start like little by little, like totally falling in love with each other. So it's like that slightly just got to know each other, and then they become friends for some reason, and then like they totally adore each other. And of course, there's always a problem that needs to be solved in there because they are kind of dumb sometimes. They don't know.
But it's a problem that they solve together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The bonding there is really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
Great.
that's definitely my favorite. I do love urban fantasy and historical romances. I do not like realistic that much. So maybe that's the one that I would start going a little bit more into.
Is it because it's just like too much like where we are right now?
Exactly. I like a little bit of magic in there.
Okay, yeah. Yep. A little escapism, a little,
Definitely.
Yes, definitely. Okay, and Summer, tell us Tell us. We started with the high school teacher bodice rippers. Is that still your raison d'être, or have you branched out?
I'm a little omnivorous with sort of what I read. In fact, Alessandra was the first one to get me into any kind of fantasy sci-fi, and I just was beside myself that I hadn't read any before. So I will read contemporary, I will read historical, I don't need fantasy. I do feel, though, that I think I'm a little drawn to, like, the forbidden love, because I need a little heartbreak in my stories. I need a little, like, just, I want to cry at the same time. I don't just want it to sort of, like, oh, will they? Great, yay, celebration. I need a little heartbreak. So I think sometimes that forbidden, it is a little slow burn as well, but sometimes even a little heartbreak just in the middle. That's what really gets.
So you want the yearning.
I just so want the yearning.
And a bit of a roller coaster.
And maybe that's, we talked about that, Catherine, Alessandra, and I are our specialty mostly in this store is actually kids and teen. And maybe that was also a big entree for a lot of us because there is so much of that angsty, oh, does he love me or not, slow burn in teen. We've seen a lot of that. So
the hormones.
That's where I come to romance too, from that.
Okay. And Catherine, of course, tell us what gets you going.
Enemies to lovers.
Oh,
Any day.
Sure.
Any day. I gotta have that two sides of the coin. Hate is just another kind of passion into love, into like, yeah, any day. And it goes back to the early days of reading Harry Draco fanfic, I'll be totally honest. That is where that comes from, hands down. But enemies to lovers any day. And I also am a big fan of, I'll get into it later when we do the recommendations, but a big fan of fake relationships where they have to be together to, especially in the historical ones, they have to be together to sort of get a title or to, win a parent approval or what have you. I'm a big fan of and then they slowly start to realize. I also enjoy the slow burn, but the enemies to lovers is safe, hands down. I think I would love to push myself to read some more contemporary, realistic romance. Like Alessandra, I'm not into contemporary, realistic stuff in general. So, and especially in the romance world, I'm more into the historical stuff. But I'd love to sort of push myself to read more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, whenever I meet someone who's like, I don't read fiction, I don't trust them at all.
No.
I don't know.
They clearly have no empathy for anyone.
I know, it's so what? I don't. Anyway. Okay, so what I'm getting the consensus is we're into slow burns. There seems to be a lot of that. Okay. And so, what is it about the slow burn that, what is it that sort of drives you through the book with this slow burn? Do we ever think maybe they won't get together, or is it just like the...
I've had, so my wife and I read them out loud before we go to bed, which is like a way to unwind. And so I physically said to her, you have to stop because I can't handle this. Are they going to get together or not? You have to promise me if it's a romance or not. She said, yes, it's a romance. I promise you. I'm like, but how? They're so upset right now. How is this happening? Relax. Number one, it's a book. Number two, we're supposed to be having fun and relaxing. It's going to be fine. But it's the anticipation. It's the whole... And I think it also speaks to what Summer was saying about YA being that first love burns brightest, right? It's that anticipation and all the feelings and the pent-up, I don't know. It's much more interesting to me when they sort of slowly piece it out rather than the very quick, all of a sudden, I need the build-up where I don't believe it, I think it's my problem.
That's fair.
Same. For me, it's I just need that romance to feel more real, and I have never been a lover of love at first sight, to be very honest. So I need them to get to know each other, and then they start liking each other.
Yeah, you need it to be real, but you also need magic.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. No, I get you.
It totally makes sense, right?
I think you can. I think the reader has the time to sort of somehow, no pun intended, insert themselves into the story a little more when it's a slow burn. I just think you somehow it involves you a lot more than when it's just all immediately out there. I don't know. That's how I and for me, character development and how they progress, not just as a relationship, but within themselves, I think comes through better in that way as well. So
Great.
I also think like it's like a good mystery. You don't know how, there is a mystery, and they'll solve it at the end, but you don't know how, and it's got to be hard. Like if Sherlock Holmes is a genius, but it's still hard. Like it's difficult. That's what makes it fun for him.
yeah.
I think in romances, if it was just easy for them to get together, there's no story. So I walked down the street, I went to the grocery store, I met this hot guy, and we started dating. Three years later, we got married. It was great. Okay.
I like the stories.
3 months,
I like the stories where they meet and they realize instantly that they're attracted to each other, but then they have to there's something external trying to keep them apart, and they have to. But that's just me. Right. Enemies to lovers is a little for me, but
Yeah, they shouldn't be attracted, but they are.
But they. If I had a nickel. Great. So I think that will wrap it up for this segment. Listeners, stay tuned for the third segment where we will be doing recommendations, and we will also be playing FMK, of course, because it wouldn't be FMK Lit without. But before we go, Ingrid, where can people find Books Inc. and give you their money for beautiful books?
Okay, so we are our store, and it's one of 10 Bay Area stores.
The best one.
The best one. We're in Laurel Village in San Francisco. They can find us there, or they can find us online at booksinc.net.
Great. So before we go, let's have a dance party. Woo!